Hey, welcome back everybody to the 7th month of the Making an Influencer experiment. I want to take you through a little bit of what happened this month, the month of February 2020. Seems to be a growing concern on YouTube, generally speaking. Now, if you go to the majority of YouTube channels where they rely on the income that's generated by their efforts there, pretty much all of them are opening their videos with a statement saying, please use our Patreon in the future or other means of donating, because YouTube's apparently squeezing them and or completely disabling some of their videos or even their channels. So it seems like the issue is a growing one outside of the crypto influencer world as well, which is kind of revealing, and maybe this is being accelerated by the kind of quality of the content on YouTube. I don't know. It's kind of strange that anyone who makes videos on any sort of controversial subjects or subjects related to money are having some sort of censorship experience on YouTube. Anyway, copyright claims on Instagram. So I've been doing a couple of music videos, and every time I try to put up clips or what have you of the music videos, seems their algorithms can't distinguish between the cover version that I create and the original. And this happened a few months ago with YouTube when I put up the cover of Man by the Kinks called Bitman. Clearly a karaoke version, instrumental with completely new lyrics over the top, but still they've been monetizing that video since it went up and put a claim straight on it directly, which is again probably an algorithm or done automatically somehow, but seems there's certainly room for improvement there. Colony.io, got into a good conversation with those guys on Twitter regarding the Ministry of Decentralization. They are basically running a beta now, and it looks like they're keen to get anybody to build their organization on their platform that they can. So even so much as being baited by some of this nonsense that I've been tweeting about regarding the Ministry of Decentralization, which of course it is interesting to have a religion on your platform if you're able to, but I didn't go any deeper with that, so I left it as it was. The Decentralized song, the cover of the Testified track by Rage Against the Machine, I managed to rewrite the lyrics and get that recorded and put out a music video this month, which has been received pretty well by those that are already sort of somewhat interested by decentralization and the crypto sphere. But my goal, of course, is still to reach outside of that sphere and to the regular folk, hence doing a cover of a pretty popular song, but we'll see how that goes. I also met with a friend who's in a band, and we're going to be hopefully recording a live version of that song, which is kind of fun. I mean, part of this whole experiment has allowed me to sort of explore ideas that I have had for a number of years, but maybe never had the confidence to do so. Something to do with this pseudonymity that gives me the confidence to pursue different ideas. Even, I mean, like being in a rock band, in a rock music video. Pretty sure I had that fantasy as a child, so this month I was able to fulfill it, and there's something to be said for that, I think. If nothing else comes out of it, at least I got to do things that I had always wished to do. I started to Google Bitman 360 just to see what kind of search results are coming up, and yeah, there's a few pieces of the content here and there have been recycled or reposted, if you like, and lending some more legitimacy to it, I guess. It was just a handful of articles, but it was quite fun to see, like, and probably automatically generated, but again, it's not me making those decisions to publish on those outlets wherever they might be. Still haven't got published on a proper outlet yet, but that may happen in the near future. So this idea of, like, that I've been constantly battling with is like how to steer the narrative, like where to take the character. In the previous diary entry I spoke about the hero's journey, the story cycle, and where do I want to take this this character. And it's really difficult to get a fine line between balancing planning to an extreme and letting like the sort of process organically navigate the character itself. I feel a little bit like to try to rein in and keep it fun and engaging for myself. I've decided to sort of try to lay off the planning a little bit because it adds unnecessary stress to the whole thing, and I figured it became less fun, to be honest. So I'm going to let him take on his own role, and a lot of the characters that he's meeting along the way, especially on Twitter, are sort of almost doing that navigation or creating those opportunities through the engagement there. So shout out to Bengt who helped me record the audio track for Decentralized by Bitman, the cover track, and he actually went ahead and did a cover version of his own, an acoustic. He did an acoustic version, then he did an actual production level cover, which I'm gonna hopefully put together a music video with him for. That's like more in the country genre, but really encouraging that he digged the lyrics so much that he felt compelled to do his own version. So keep your eyes peeled for a country version of Decentralized. This month I actually only made one piece of content, so that was the Decentralized video, which took me a large part of last Sunday to produce actually. And that's largely a test to see where I could spend my energy elsewhere, and I see that I became somewhat deep into Twitter and getting conversations going there, and reusing the GIFs and clips that I used previously that I created that I never cycled. Got some pretty good engagement out of those short clips this month as well, which made me realize like I got a back catalogue of a shit ton of video content from this character now, and I'm probably the only one who's seen all of it, but I have to realize that a lot of it hasn't been seen, so I can go into those videos and dissect and pull out new stuff and recycle it short form on social media, and it's still working when it comes to sort of generating interest and engagement, which is kind of curious. Yeah, the feedback to the music video has been really positive. Of course, I know I can't sing. I never claimed that I could, but screaming and shouting is a little bit rock and roll, so I thought I could get away with it. Plus, Bengt put a nice bit of equalization on my voice. Towards the end of the month, I started to be a little bit more provocative with one of the top crypto influencers who's actually based around here in Stockholm, Ivan on Tech, because I believe from learning or studying his channel and how it developed over the years and how he's grown, his thumbnails, his pitch each time, his live streams, something's changed in the last few months, and there was some level of agreement on Twitter regarding that. He's become much more of a shill. So when he began, he still pitches himself as an educator, programmer, very heavily leaning on education, and it's difficult to monetize that, I understand, but looking at his stuff now, it's clear that either he's got new agent, new management or something, or the education part of the industry is completely swamped with competition. And I called him out on that, and that got my account, Bitman's account, an instant block, which, considering he's been also crying censorship on YouTube and what have you over the past month, to be censored when it comes to trying to strike up what I thought was an important dialogue. Twitter is obviously not the place to do that kind of shit. I mean, of course it isn't. there's a guy called Kenneth Bozak, who I actually met in New York in Consensus 2019 last year, and a really, really super interesting fella. Certainly one of the more outlandish characters in the space, and I mean, I could even argue like Bitman 360 is somewhat influenced by this guy, because he was I remember seeing him at Consensus, and yeah, he's a standout guy and a no bullshit guy. So anyway, on his Twitter, he was calling out for people to be on his podcast. So I just clicked the link and filled in the form, and it seems like it's going to happen tomorrow night. And that's Bitman going on to his first live show in front of, I don't know how many people will be watching it, but I've been thinking a lot today about how that's going to unfold, and I've seen like everybody's always talking about this coronavirus, and I figured I'll put Bitman in transit maybe with a mask on, or even in quarantine, to sort of highlight the ridiculousness of the character, just so that maybe this guy Kenneth actually picks up on the fact that, you know, Bitman is more of an Ali G type character than a real person. But we'll see how that unfolds, and if I'm still assuming that he'll do some sort of due diligence before the stream and find out, well, Bitman is a fraud. And that wraps up the 7th month of the Making an Influencer experiment. If you are watching this and you have been entertained by this Bitman character at all, please do feel free to reach out to him and play dress-ups, play silly buggers on the internet. I'm looking for people to take calls with, to record videos with other characters that might be out there that are in the same sort of realm. But now I'm just babbling on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.